Okay, my name is Adam McDormand, and this is Medium Quality. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about this camera that I've been using for the past several months to make my videos. I picked this Canon PowerShot SX540 HS up in May of last year, assuming that it would result in a pretty substantial increase in the quality of the videos that I could make, because up until that point I had been using this guy to record all of my YouTube videos. Now, what I discovered is a number of fairly substantial drawbacks for this camera with my particular use case. Now, the cool thing about Canon's PowerShot cameras is that they are what's known as bridge cameras. So they have really simple to use controls for someone who doesn't know a whole lot about shutter speed, ISO, f-stop, white balance, exposure, whatever, because you can throw it in auto and shoot and things look good. However, the manual controls are in there. So as you start to get better, you start to learn things about how those individual controls work. You can slowly learn how to take better and better images in manual settings and hopefully work your way into using a real DSLR or mirrorless camera or something along those lines. As great as this has proven to be for still images, it has been pretty much terrible for video. Honestly, not that big of a jump up from my Samsung phone, which is saying a lot given the fact that this has a real lens and a real image sensor in it. I'm kind of flabbergasted that it looks as bad as it does. Unfortunately, I spend an absurd amount of time in post-production trying to coax a decent image out of this camera, which is very, very disappointing. There's no reason that this shouldn't shoot in crystal clear 1080p video, because the still images look great, but something about the engineering of this camera makes it not very good for that. Now, on top of all that, this camera has started to act up. While I was shooting footage last weekend, I noticed that the camera was making this whirring and clicking noise that if you're very quiet, you can actually hear. And unfortunately, when I pulled that into my video editor, it was very pronounced in the camera's microphone. So on top of being not great for what I use it for, the camera's actually kind of busted. So I've opened up a support ticket with Canon. I'm going to send this camera back, hopefully get it fixed, and get back my camera that will produce middling quality video, which is more or less a lose-lose. If I'm going to continue vlogging, and I really want to, I'm going to have to go back to using this guy. I mean, like I said, it's, I guess, not that big of a downgrade since this was not nearly as good as I had hoped it would be. Bye.
finally have my camera back. I got it back sometime last week and have been putting off recording this update as to how the whole process went because I've been feeling rather uninspired, a little discouraged. And part of that is because the process of getting this thing serviced and fixed and back to me has been a little bit of a nightmare. I'll try to be as concise as possible. So I sent the camera out on a Saturday. On the next Tuesday, Canon got the camera and immediately sent me an invoice saying that they were going to just send me a new camera because whatever was wrong with this didn't warrant the time and effort to repair it. And they said that they'd have a shipping number for me the very next day. A week goes by, still never got my tracking number. So I called them. They said that what they initially told me on the official invoice was actually incorrect, and that it usually takes 5 to 7 business days. And I'm thinking, okay, you should have just told me that. So I wait till the end of the 5 to 7 business days, still hear nothing. So I call again, and they said, yeah, we just don't have your replacement, so maybe we'll get it to you sometime next week. This is something I don't like to do, but I ended up angry tweeting Canon. At that point, I got a chance to speak with Jennifer from Canon's customer relations, who was fantastic. She told me what was happening and told me what the solution was and how they were going to get me my camera in like 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, no time whatsoever. And then, of course, a couple days later, I finally have my camera. I wish they would have just told me from the beginning, we don't have a replacement for you just yet. If you don't mind waiting till next week, we'll take care of it. But there was a lack of information there that made the whole experience kind of unpleasant, unsatisfactory. And so, as excited as I was to have this thing back, I've noticed that the camera, if I listen very closely, still makes that really weird, like whirring and clicking noise, as if there's like a little fan that's inside of this thing that's rubbing all the time. I don't know. It's something within the engineering of this camera. Long story short, I have my camera back, so I hopefully will regain my inspiration and start working on making stuff again and start posting on the regular, which would be absolutely great. If you enjoyed watching this whole saga play out over the past couple of weeks, give this video a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. Hit me up in the comments below if you have questions or want to know more about this Canon PowerShot SX540 HS. And I'll see you next time. What a time to be alive.